Well, I guess that is that. Welcome to everyone that is here. I'm seeing that currently there are about 35. Ooh, just jumped up to 58. That's very cool. Welcome to another live Q&A with yours truly, Sam Healey. And I'm just here to be peppered with your questions as much as you would like to throw at me. I will do the best that I possibly can to answer as many of them as I possibly can. So that's it. Tom is away today, so I thought I would do a Q&A, and yeah, so that's cool. So right now we just got back from just waiting for some of those questions to come in, to start coming in rather. We just got back from Recon that was up in Oxford, Ohio, on the campus of Miami University. First of all, beautiful campus, and I think they had a hockey game while I was up there, and I didn't know about it, and I wish I would have, because I would have loved to go see some college hockey. But what can you do, right? You can't know everything all of the time. But we had a great time. The weather was a little dismal. There was a lot of rain, but I liked how cool it was up there. That's for sure. We came back to a nice and sticky 78, 79, 80 degrees here in Miami, Florida. So that's that. But we had a great time. The JS and Grace and Nick, they did a great job running Recon. That is probably one of the better, smaller conventions that we've ever been to, at least from my point of view. They just seemed to be on the ball with everything. The board game area was very cool. They had they had an area for video games. They had a hall where they did trivia shows, and where we did a what do you call it, a Wits and Wagers game there one night. We also had a live, well, not a live show, but, well, it was live, but we didn't record it or anything like that, we did in their Lyceum as well. That was really cool. I just loved that setting. It was a very intimate setting, so that was cool. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start. If you have a chance, the reason I say all that before I move on, if you have a chance to go to Recon next year, you really should do that, because they put a lot of attention to detail in there. So it's cool that they run it. Believe they do it every year. This is, I believe, the second year running. So next year will be the third, and they've got a good head on their shoulders there. So go check them out. All right. So let's see here. Sean Swanson says, if you could go back in time with all of the games you know now, yeah, I'd be designing some games left and right, and trying to make some of that cash, yo. No, I don't know what the gist of your question is, but yeah, that would be strange. That would be strange to go back in time with all of the knowledge of board games and how far board games has come. First of all, I'd probably be finding some of those companies, you know, as early as possible. Like I would buy stock in Asmodee. I would buy stock in you know, you name it. You know, kind of like the whole Apple and Windows and all that kind of stuff way back when. But here we go. Let's see here. Has anyone tried to color my beard? No, and they will not. I have had a few suggestions, if I can put it nicely, at least nicer than it was put to me. I've had a few suggestions that I should try Just for Men and that type of stuff, and to that I simply say phooey, because I'm okay with having gray hair. I'm good with it. No worries. Oh, okay. So he went back and edited that question. If you could go back in time with all the games you know now, what game would you publish? Would I publish? Well, I would publish Blood Rage first and foremost. I mean, I would contact Eric Lang then and say, this is what you've made. Now, act like you've made it now, and we're going to publish it, and it's going to go bonkers before the way. How would that change history, though? How would that disrupt things? I don't know. We'll see. Let's see here. What's your favorite TV show and movies? Well, right now, my favorite movies are the MCU movies that are coming out. They are just continually, I like the actors that they're using. I like the stories. I like the action. I like just generally speaking, I'm liking everything with the exception of Deadpool. I do not like a Deadpool at all. But the lion's share of the MCU movies that are coming out right now, I am really enjoying. So those are probably my favorite movies right now. Although I am really enjoying the Star Wars movies as well, and I know I'm probably in the minority there, but I don't really care because we still have Star Wars movies coming out, and that's a cool thing. Let's see, TV shows. Ooh, that's a little bit more hit and miss. Impractical Jokers is one of my favorite just kind of vegging TV shows to watch. I don't endorse that show completely. There's a lot of crass humor in there, and I try not to watch it very often with my younger kids in the room. But they bleep stuff out, but sometimes bleeping stuff out doesn't fix the video aspect of what's going on. So, but those four guys just make me laugh very hard, and sometimes I have to stifle my laughter because somebody saw something they probably shouldn't before I could tell them to get out of the room or something like that. And it's that I have a very I guess you could say sophomoric sense of humor, and that is right where they are. And so, yeah, that's probably my favorite vegging TV show. My wife and I have been enjoying the new miniseries of X-Files. We're old X-Files fans, and so to see Scully and Mulder there on the screen again is cool. And we like all of the kind of different ways that they're taking the show at this point. There's almost like there's a freedom that's been given to those writers. So we're liking that. What kind of music do I like? I like, my favorite kind of music is Christian metal. And you could probably call it, I don't know what you would normally call it, but symphonic metal maybe, or Scandinavian metal. I don't know, but there's a lot of Scandinavian bands that are metal that are also Christian bands, and I'm liking all of them. Theocracy is probably my favorite. They are not Scandinavian. They're actually based in Georgia, but they have a very large European following. Golden Resurrection is another one that I enjoy a lot, and I've been given some other bands that I can't remember their names right now to look up by some of my acquaintances and friends that live in the area, Scandinavia. So yeah, that's what my favorite kind of music is. I also enjoy Christian contemporary music, stuff that you hear on the radio. David Crowder is probably one of my favorite ones. Newsboys is another favorite one. TFK is cool. Casting Crowns, that kind of stuff. Let's see here. What theme would you like to see in a Euro? Huh. Well, one of the segments on Throw Punch Lunch, and I'm not trying to plug my show or anything like that, but one of the segments on Throw Punch Lunch used to be done by Ambi Valdez, and she did this one called Strategically Thematic, where she went through and she showed a whole bunch of Euro games that and Euro games usually aren't known for their theme. They're known for their mechanisms and how well all those mechanisms mesh together. And more often than not, the reputation of Euros, at least, is that the theme is just kind of slapped on there at the end. But she did a long-reaching stint on a number of different games that are very thematically driven, that are known to be Euro games. So I don't know that I'm missing any specific theme that for a Euro game. I don't know that I'm really missing any particular theme for any kind of game right now, because there are so many different ones out there, and people are starting to push the envelope a little bit on what themes can be put to what mechanics. And so I don't know. That's the short and fast answer. I don't know what theme I want to see. But, you know, I used to say, man, I wish there were more Star Wars games. Not anymore. Slow down. Think twice. You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I really do like historically themed games as well. So maybe there could be more historically themed games out there that are not war games, and don't have rule books that read like technical manuals. So that would be cool. So maybe that's a good answer. We'll be doing another live skirmish of Imperial Assault. That definitely could happen. Would be great to see you play with some of the new stuff. All right, yeah, that's definitely something that we could do. We actually have a number of the different playmats that they've come out for tournaments and stuff like that. So we could easily do that. I'll put a little bit more thought into it. I know Vernon is very much into Imperial Assault, so we could easily do a skirmish of that, you know, almost blindfolded. But on that note, if you didn't notice, Vernon and I are going to be playing GKR Heavy Hitters on Friday, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're looking for more live plays and you know, one-on-one, that type of stuff, we're going to do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing a live painting session where we're going to be working on our 8th edition 40K stuff, and we're also going to work on some of those GKR models that we used in the morning. So there you go. Did you or are you going to back the Batman game? Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't back a lot of games. I've got a family of 6, and some of them are pretty old, and the older they get, the more expensive they get. So I don't have the disposable income to back a lot of these games. So I just I know Tom already has, and I would imagine that more than a couple of other people in my game group are going to back it as well. So I'll be able to play vicariously and actually literally with them and their games, their versions. So that's good enough. There's never a dearth of games to play at Dice Tower. So it'll be cool. I'm very happy that they have been so successful already with their Kickstarter, because first time I played this game was goodness, I want to say a year and a half ago, I think, at UKGE. Not last year, but the year following. My timeline's got messed up, but it's been a long time since the first time I played this, and I really enjoyed it back then. And so I think I'm glad it's hitting with such a boom. All right. Let's see. How's it going? It's going well, Seth. Thanks for asking. It's always a little busy around here, but being busy is being good. Do you think the Bears have a shot at getting to the playoffs next season? Always. We always have a shot. Now, whether we actually take the time to aim before we take the shot, that remains to be seen. But I liked what I saw from some of the young players at the end of last season. I just hope we can hold on to them and move forward with that. And really, I don't keep too close of a track on all of the different transactions and all that kind of stuff that go on in the off season. So I don't know who they're picking up or who they're letting go or anything like that. So there's absolutely no real research behind that statement. It's just a fan saying, yeah, my team can do that. So there you go. Let's see. Any interest in the recently kickstarted Nemesis? Yeah, actually, that was one of the ones I wanted to really look at Essen last year, and didn't get really a chance to take a look at it. But I have have looked at it online multiple times, and it looks like a really neat game, and I'm hopefully going to be able to give it a try sometime in the near future. I don't know. It just depends on if we get a copy or whatnot for review. What is my favorite combat resolution mechanism? Well, wow, that's I really like card-driven combat. Now, I know that's not specifically a style of combat resolution, but I like having a hand of cards, and that kind of plays into what I'm able to enact on the board. As far as resolving combat, I do enjoy dice rolling as combat resolution, but more specifically, I like when you're trying to roll specific faces of the die rather than just at or above or below a certain number. For some reason, I know it's not that different as far as the statistics plays out and all that other kind of stuff. It just feels different. So I think probably dice rolling is my favorite, but I do also like the style of combat resolution that something like Blood Rage uses. I also like the combat resolution in Rising Sun as well. So one of those three, whatever you like to call them, those are my favorites. Did you have any trouble learning Sword and Sorcery? There seems to be a lot of tiny rules that would be hard to remember on the spot. Yeah, that's me with every game, really. I have trouble remembering minutia a lot, and it doesn't matter how many times I play the game. Well, I mean, except for something like Blood Rage. But even then, there are little tiny things that I forget to do every once in a while that I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta do that. Okay, you know, so that just happens to me a lot. I have a hard time remembering minutia. But Sword and Sorcery was no different, I guess you could say. I didn't particularly have any real problems with the rule book, but I think it you know, there's always that problem for me. Let's see. How do you differentiate between cooperative games and collaborative games, or semi-cooperative, etc., or are they loosely interchanged? And examples of games that show the differences would be cool. Okay, well, let's see. Cooperative games would be, wow, I just drew a blank. Oh, let's see. Cooperative games are games that everybody is trying to do the same thing. You are all corporately working towards the same goal. The first cooperative game that I can think of was the Lord of the Rings one, before they came out with the Sauron expansion, where one player could be Sauron, where you were each taking the roles of the different hobbits and trying to get the ring to Mordor. That would be a purely cooperative game. Nobody is playing against anybody else. You are all playing together against the game. A collaborative or semi-cooperative game, I guess you could call those these team games. For example, a hidden movement game where one person is sneaking and everybody else is trying to find them. That would be, I guess you could call semi-cooperative, or a one versus all. And collaborative, I guess you might mean, what you might be meaning is that you all kind of have to work together, but there's only one winner. Those are... I guess Dead of Winter would probably fall into that, because there is only usually one winner in that game. But I think it would also fall into that whole semi-cooperative or anti-cooperative, whatever it might be there. But yeah, it's kind of a muddy genre, that's for sure. But there are definite markers to what kind of game is which. So hopefully that was clear as mud as far as my answer was concerned. I apologize. What are my thoughts on Thunderstone Quest? Tom and I did actually get to play a gentleman's copy at Recon, and I like it. I don't think it's going to be good at its maximum capacity of 4 players, because that fosters a lot of downtime. But I think it might, max out at 3, and maybe even be best at 2. But, you know, I haven't tried it at those other 2 levels, so I don't really know yet. All I do know is that there was a lot of downtime in a 4-player game. That just makes the game go longer. But I liked a lot of the different things that they did. I like if you have a lantern, you go to the marketplace and you have a lantern, you can also go to the forest, so you can kind of take out a monster and try to upgrade one of your guys for free. So I like, well, at least that's how it was in the scenario that we played. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think it's a step up from Thunderstone Advanced. So Tom is saying that he wants to try Thunderstone Quest in the epic style or version. So I guess we'll have to let you know how that goes as well. Do I use an airbrush? Yes, well, here's the thing. Once I have used that. Just reminds me of Johnny Dangerously. My daddy hung me on a hook once, Johnny. Once. Yeah, but no, I've used an airbrush one time. Vernon has come down and kind of given me the hard and fast crash course on how to use airbrushes, and so I still hold it, according to him, I still hold it way too close to the model. He's, you know, I need to come back a little bit, but so I'm working on it. But I use it to do the base coating on my Marines for 8th edition 40K. So you'll see some of the fruits of that labor tomorrow. Let's see here. What are your okay, I already said that. Let's see. Do you like doing the daily unboxings? You know, yeah, I do. It's fun to crack open a box for the first time and kind of just give a first impression of it. I do enjoy doing that. I think it's probably right down the middle on how people are enjoying my unboxings, because a lot of them say that I take too long. Some of them say that, no, it's great because we want to see all the different components and all that kind of stuff. So I do enjoy doing them. I think they're a simple and rather easy way to show some of these new games off, and you know, before we review them. So yeah, I do enjoy doing them. Am I still planning on reviewing Barbarians, the Invasion, or did the artwork turn you off? No, the artwork didn't turn me off. It just haven't got around to it yet. It is a little bit of a bigger game, but even though it does have an app, a tutorial app that goes along with it, I'm just having trouble getting it to the table. So, but yes, it is still in the queue, and it still has my attention. It's just I haven't got around to it yet. Let's see. Jay, how you doing? Good to see you again. See you. It was good to see you at Recon, though. Sorry we didn't get to spend more time together. That was kind of unfortunate. Let's see. Are there any slightly more modern games you'd like to see Restoration Games restore? No. And honestly, most of the ones that they're restoring, I couldn't have said, yes, I want that one restored. That's just not something that I really, I don't want to sound cold and say I just don't care about it, but I just, that's not something I care about. I'm sorry. No, but I just like to kind of wait and see. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they pull off Fireball Island. So far, all of the mock-ups that I've seen, you know, and they have them out there. It's not that I have any insider information or anything like that, but they're doing a really good job as far as all of the games they've already put out, and it looks like they're going to do another awesome job with Fireball Island. So keep your eye open for that one. Do I have a favorite faction in Rub and Bones? Yes, the Hammers of Ragnarok, by far, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Let's see. Gloomhaven, yay or nay? Again, I've only played Gloomhaven once, and then Tom decided to play Gloomhaven solo for the rest of eternity. So I've only played it one time. What was my gateway game? Huh. Oh, goodness gracious. The one that I count as really being the one that kind of got me into the modern gaming hobby, and it's kind of a cheat, but it's the one that because I know it wasn't the first game we played to get back into the modern board gaming hobby, but it's Citadels, because I remember vividly going, taking a trip to Seoul when we lived in Gunsan, South Korea, and we took a trip to Seoul to meet a couple of friends that we had met online there. And they took us around to their board game shop, their board game cafe, and I guess you could call them a distributor that was there in Seoul. And we hit a couple of board game cafes that day, but Citadels was the first game that we played that day, and it was just an amazing experience. We had a great time. So that's the one that kind of lit the spark, so to speak. I do not have a favorite clan in Rising Sun. I haven't really played it enough. I do like the turtles. I like the fact that their fortresses are strong and that they can move. But I also enjoyed playing the Moon Clan the last time we played live. So I don't really have a favorite one. What is your opinion on TI4 with 3 players? I think it's good. I really enjoy it. I've played it that way once so far, and we are planning on doing a live play of it with 3 people here in the future. So I enjoy it. I think it's a faster way to get a long game played, if that makes any sense, because I don't think anything is really lost as far as what I'm looking to get out of a game of TI4. All of the tension is still there. You still have to be very savvy on both fronts. So I like it a lot, and I would encourage people to play it. I mean, it keeps it shorter. The game that we played that was 3 hours, well, that with 3 people was about 3.5 hours. So it's a great way to get that long game played. Star Wars Legion, have I played it more since the review? No, I haven't. Again, we kind of hit that. That was the last one that we really were able to do. And then that entire week I was making videos for all of the stuff that we had and showing everybody, and you know, the what's in there videos that we did that week. And then the next week we were off to Recon. So not a whole lot of time between there. And again, we run into this problem a lot where we have trouble coming back to the games that we reviewed because there's always more games to review. So we have to get those played, and those usually take the lion's share of our time. So no, I haven't been able to get back to it, but I do have some things on the way that are going to give me a little bit more I guess you could say reason to play it again. So we will definitely do that. Can you teach me Blood Rage on the cruise? Yeah, I guess I'd be willing to do that. We joked a little bit at while we were at Cardboard Crowns in Ohio right before Recon, and I got to play a game of Blood Rage with some folks there, and that was my token play of Blood Rage for that trip. So I'm just kind of assuming that, of course, barring being just too busy, I'm probably going to play Blood Rage at least once on every trip that I take, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. But if I can't get around to it, just please know it's nothing personal. It's that I'm just too busy. But on the cruise, maybe so. What's with the Bears hat? Chris, what's with the Bears hat? I'm a Bears fan, man. That's what's with the Bears hat. All right. So, yeah, I don't wear... And I don't think anybody would wear a Bears hat for fashion, but I don't wear sports team stuff for fashion. I know a lot of people do, and that's fine. It's just kind of confusing because you say, "Oh, you like the Bears?" No, I just like the colors. Really, but no, I wear the Bears hat is because I'm a Bears fan. Better work on that flux capacitor. Yeah, I guess you would. Deadpool is Fox anyway. Oh, okay, well, that's the reason I don't like it then. Oh, let's see. What do you like better about Blood Rage over Rising Sun? The card drafting, lack of negotiation. Yes. I also like the the ease of combat resolution in Blood Rage is a lot better than Rising Sun. It's not that I don't like what Rising Sun does, but I like how much more simple it is with Blood Rage, and that allows you to focus on the other parts of Blood Rage that are much more engaging, I think, than Rising Sun. But I know people are saying that Rising Sun is much better than Blood Rage. Okay, that's fine. They can be wrong. I don't mind that at all. Let's see. Any thoughts on newish co-op builders? Aeon's End, Shadowrun, Dragonfire. Are they not your cup of tea? No, they really aren't. I've only really done Xenoshift and Shadow Rift. Did I do Shadow Rift? I don't remember that game. Maybe I did. No, see, I'm not that big of a deck builder fan anyway. I've always been very specific about my deck building games. For example, I don't really care for Dominion, but I did enjoy Thunderstone, and I like Thunderstone Quest. I also liked Xenoshift a lot as well. Really, that's about it. You know, there's probably some outliers out there, but generally speaking, I was very particular about what I like. Oh, I also like Clank, but I like Clank in Space a lot better than the original one, which also is anathema apparently. So I'm really particular about my deck builders. So we are giving a look at Aeon's End right now, and we're trying to get that one to the table. So I'd probably be able to talk more about it later, but I haven't played it yet. I did play Shadowrun, but I didn't like it. I did not play Dragonfire because I didn't like Shadowrun. Now I've heard that Dragonfire is better than Shadowrun was, but again, I just don't have that much of a desire to try something that I might not like, or that rather I'm leaning away from liking, unless it's a review that I have to get done. Where did you get the Han Solo Mal Reynolds shirt? I got that on one of those little ads that pops up on your Facebook feed every once in a while that pushes you right to their website. I can't remember the name of the website anymore, but that's where I got it. You can find it if you just put in Han Mal t-shirt, and it should come up if it's still available. I don't know if it is or not. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit. Have I played the new factions from Shadespire yet? No, I've not. But one of them is the dwarves. The next question was, which one is my favorite? Right now, my favorite faction of Shadespire is the orcs. I really enjoy playing the orcs. They're just my style of, go get them. Not I'm going to sit back here and hold this objective and score my points that way. So I'm hoping that I will enjoy the dwarves as well. They seem to be down that same aisle, but the Skaven also look pretty cool as well too. So I haven't tried them each yet, but I have them all put together, and I'm just waiting to get it to the table. Okay, here's a question that we get asked a lot. For example, this one says why +1 for why Blood Rage is better than Rising Sun. If I were to pick one up, which should I pick over the other? We cannot answer that that question for you unless it's like an objective reason why you should pick this one up and not this one. We don't know the people in your gaming group. We don't know you, honestly. We don't know your financial situation. We don't know anything as far as that's concerned. So that kind of question in this context is nigh impossible to answer. And it's not that I'm trying to be, snooty or anything like that. It's just that we cannot answer that question for you because it's a subjective. It's always going to be a subjective answer. I would say pick up Blood Rage because I like Blood Rage better than Rising Sun. But after you play both, you might like the other better than the former. So we just can't answer that for you because it's not an objective question. It's a very subjective question. Let's see. Thanks for being such a great example of integrity, character, honesty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Although, please understand, I'm a man just like everybody else, and I have my downfalls and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not better than anybody else. So please, I appreciate your kindness, but yeah, I'm not better than anybody else. Let's see. I don't know what Project 86 is, Kellen. I apologize. Just fell in love with the Command and Color system, playing Memoir and Battle Lore. What should you pick up next? Well, it depends on, again, almost very much so. But if you like the Command and Color system, then there's other questions. Why do you like them? Do you like the Memoir and Battle Lore are the prettiest versions of games that are made with a Command and Color system. So if you like the aesthetics of Memoir and Battle Lore, you're pretty much at the end of your rope unless you want to pick up Battlecry. Battlecry is probably the next closest one to those two as far as aesthetics are concerned. It also depends upon what era of military history that you're most interested in. Like if you like World War II history, then you've already found your Huckleberry with Memoir. If you like fantastical history, then Battle Lore is where you should go. But if you like World War I history, there is the Great War, and they also have a tanks expansion that's out there, and a lot of scenarios with trench warfare, and it actually is interesting and fun in that sense where you kind of get how difficult trench warfare was. Other games that have tried to do that have been stale. But the Command and Color system, I think, does well. There's also the American Revolution that is out there. That's the newest one that has come out, and they've come out from different companies. Compass Games put out the American Revolution one. That is a block game, very much like Command and Color's Ancients. That is the next one that is out there. Actually, that's probably one of the older ones. Because that came out from GMT way back when, and it's block warfare, ancient warfare, and that type of stuff. So just really depends on what you like, for why you liked Memoir and Battle Lore, to determine where you go next. That was a very long answer for probably not what you were. Have you played the new Deception Murder in Hong Kong expansion? Yes, I have. I've even done a review for it. So have you ever had the FS defect with the new event card? Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, have you ever had the forensic scientist defect? No. Sorry, context wasn't matching there. I was thinking a problem, you know, the FS problem. That's not what you're talking about. No, I haven't. That new event card hasn't actually come up yet. I've toyed with making it come up, but you know, that's kind of cheating. So no, it hasn't come up yet. But Undercover Allies is an expansion, is one of those, is an example of one of those expansions that makes a good game or a great game even greater, as in my opinion. I really enjoyed what they did. Now this was just with the base game, but I played my first 12-player game of Deception at Recon. We had a blast, and it was a very fun experience. It's one of those games where the more the merrier, as far as you can, as many people as you can get playing. I think the expansion allows you to go up to 14 people in a game of Deception Murder in Hong Kong. It's chaotic, but it's fun. Really enjoyed it. Let's see. Did you see Edge of Darkness last year previewed at one of the 2017 conventions? What are your first impressions? I did see that it did, but I don't have any impressions of it at this point. I haven't really looked into it that much. Let's see here. Let's see. Saw that Memoir 44 is coming out with an expansion. Do you personally think that they should release out-of-print expansions or re-release them? Well, you know, I think, and this is just my little brain thinking, it has no empirical evidence to back it up. I think the reason that they are not printing any of these expansions that are out of print is because Days of Wonder isn't really making those decisions anymore. I think Asmodee is making them for them, and they've pretty much put the brakes on everything except what they greenlight. So that's one of the downfalls, I guess you could say, when a larger company buys a smaller one. But I sincerely hope. I think 2 years ago I heard rumblings of them redoing the air pack, making it a little bit better, fixing some of the problems that the original air pack had. But I have not heard hide nor hair of any of that since, so I don't know. Let's see here. Just about to ask about Green Horde. All right, are you going to review Green Horde, Dice Tower Crew? You did Black Plague, and I know Tom did an unboxing of Green Horde earlier. Yes, he did. And yes, it's probably going to be done. I've already played the game once at Gen Con. It was a rather short game because the Horde wiped us out very quickly. But, you know, it was fun. I like how they are continuing to expand upon that universe. It started with Zombicide, and then I think, you know, Black Plague was made to kind of fix some of the weird nuances that Zombicide had in it. Not that if you liked it there was anything wrong with that, but there were some things that it fixed for me that made me like the game almost night and day. So I like how they're continuing to push that envelope with the same system, but finding new things to do within that system. So I like that. Let's see here. Any chance of a three-way battling brushes with Vernon as the third chair? We have tried to do that in the past and it just didn't work out. But I don't know. We'll just have to see. Let's see. I know recurring groups are hard to manage with your busy schedules. Have you considered trying one of the Imperial Assault 4-mission mini campaigns in Twins, Shadows, or Bespin Gambit? Well, no, I haven't thought of that, but I know they're there, and we could do that. Matter of fact, Vernon's favorite way to play Imperial Assault is the campaign version. I tend more towards the skirmishes, but if we were to do something like that, then that's probably what we would do, one of the smaller campaigns. Let's see here. All right. Conversation about Metallica albums and which one is the favorite one. Which company are you most looking forward to seeing and what they bring to Gamma? You know, I haven't put much thought into that either. We are just now beginning to finalize what companies we're going to be having interviews with and so forth. So, and I haven't seen that finished list yet. So maybe I'll be able to answer that question at a later week. Have you considered doing look-back videos? No, that's Tom's territory. Yeah. We'll be playing TI4 for the first time this weekend. Any advice for a Twilight Imperium newbie? Rush Mechatol Rex and keep it at all costs. Don't do that. Yeah, it's that. First of all, that's probably impossible, because if you rush to Mechatol Rex, you won't be able to take it with very much, and you'll be taken out very soon after that. But actually, what I usually do is I usually try to stay away from Mechatol Rex, and I try to do as many other things that will get me points other than that. But I don't know. Just give it a whirl. Have fun with it, really. You know, if this is your first game, just focus on learning how the game works. Don't necessarily focus on winning, but if you can pull a win, go for it. What did I do before the Dice Tower? Before the Dice Tower, I was a teacher in Korea. Well, I went to school at Pensacola Christian College as a youth ministry major with speech minor. And when I got out of school, decided to go over to Korea to teach English as a second language to Korean nationals. And that's what I did for a living. Did that for, I think, 2.5 years, and then accepted a position at an international Christian school up in a town called Uijeongbu, which is just kind of a north and slightly to the east of Seoul. And was there for another 5 years, approximately 4 or 5 years. And then after that, I was an assistant pastor for a year at a small church in Martinez, California. And then I accepted a position down here in Homestead as a Bible and history teacher at the Christian school, and I was also a youth pastor of the church of which the school was the ministry of. So that's what I did before the Dice Tower. I am no longer teaching, but I am still the youth pastor, part-time youth pastor for South Aid Baptist Church. So that's what I do. Let's see here. Kellen, I'm sorry, I don't usually play games on a flight. So I don't have an answer for you. I apologize. Let's see here. Okay, like you, I'm a fan of Zombicide Black Plague. How do you like Green Horde compared to the original Black Plague / Wolfsburg? Again, like I said earlier, it's kind of a bump up. It introduces some new mechanisms to the game that I like. I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. I think they're both basically the same system with minor tweaks. I mean, Green Horde, the orc zombies are doing 2 damage to you instead of just 1, so it's definitely harder just from that alone. And then you have the whole fact that those orcs just kind of stay off the board until that card comes up where the horde invades. So let's see here. Let's go. Let's see here. Is this a real reason for Q&A walking around money? Walking, I don't understand what that question means. Maybe it wasn't directed at me. My advice, okay, that's a response there. What happened to the rules girl? I don't know. She has done, it says that you haven't seen her since it was announced she was going to be part of the Dice Show. She's done a number of different videos since that was announced this past year at Gen Con, but I haven't really been keeping. They upload all of their videos from where they are, so I don't keep track of how many videos they're putting out, but I know I have seen some interspersed throughout the weeks since then. Let's see here. Marty. Let's see. If you're a Chicago sports fan, why do you root for Bama? Well, Jeff, here's the reason. I grew up in a military family, so we did not have very deep roots anywhere. The reason that I am a Chicago fan is because my dad grew up in Indiana, just outside Indianapolis, in a town called Anderson. And so when he was growing up, the closest professional teams were Chicago, at least as far as, you know, my recollection of what he's told me. Now, I used to be a huge Dallas Cowboys fan because my mom, I grew up in Texas, and so Cowboys fans were everywhere, and so, but that changed. I was very young. My dad took us to see a Bears versus Cowboys game in Texas Stadium, and I remember that the Bears whooped the Cowboys that year, that game, and that just solidified it. I was rooting for the wrong team. So from that day forward, I remember rooting for the Bears over anybody else. Now, with that having been said, I'm also a Cubs fan, and that also same origin, my dad, and I'm also a Blackhawks fan, and that one was kind of more of my own, simply because I enjoy hockey. It's my favorite sport, and so I figured, hey, I'm a Bears fan and a Cubs fan. I'm going to be a Blackhawks fan as well. And it just so happened that I was getting into hockey about that time, and Eddie Belfour was their goalie, and I was a goalie, and he was my favorite goalie, so it just kind of worked out that way. Now, why am I a Bama fan? Well, that happens because when I started paying attention to college football, again, I never really did because I was I grew up in Texas, and in Texas, generally speaking, you're either a Longhorns fan or you're an Aggies fan. And my family, extended family, were all Longhorns fans. So that's all I knew of college football. Yeah, hook 'em horns. Okay, yes, that's right. But when I started paying attention to college sports, college football, I was actually living in Alabama, and many of my friends were Bama fans. My dad was actually a Auburn fan, and so I was in that time of life where I was like, I'm not going to root for what my dad roots for anymore, and so that was just further solidification that I was a Bama fan, and that was during the Gene Stallings era, which is, good time to be a Bama fan, and so forth and so on. So it has just continued to grow from there. So that's a very long answer to your question of why I'm a Chicago fan and a Bama fan. All right, let's see here. Oh, wow, time has swiftly gone by. PAX South happens in San Antonio. That is correct. And yes, I was not happy when I found out that's where that was. I would have loved to have been the Dice Tower correspondent, go back and see my family and that type of thing. But it is what it is. We can't go to all the conventions. Let's see here. Have you ever cut someone's hair while they were sleeping? Okay, Frosky or Frowski. I know you asked Derek that. So is this something you ask everybody? The answer is no, I have not. That would be strange. And also probably not cool. Second most played game recently. Probably Shadespire. I get a lot of plays of Shadespire in because it's so quick, and I like to teach it to other people who in turn also enjoy it. So probably Shadespire. But I've got a lot of plays of Deception, Murder in Hong Kong in too. So one of those two probably. Let's see here. Have you backed any Kickstarters this year? No, I have not, and I'm not looking forward to backing any as well. Again, I answered this a little bit earlier, but you probably missed it. I just don't have the disposable income to throw. Like Batman, for example, is $140. That is basically half a month worth of groceries. Well, now it's about a third of the month of groceries for my family. So I have a hard time justifying that. But that's just me. I'm not speaking ill towards anybody that does back it. I'm just saying that I'm usually not able to throw that much money at a game. Have you played Vengeance yet? No, I have not. Sorry. More excited for Joan of Arc miniatures game or Song of Ice and Fire? Both equally. If you want me to pick a specific one, probably Joan of Arc, simply only because I like the historical, mystical, legendary aspect that they've taken with the theme. But that having been said, I've played Song of Ice and Fire a couple of times now, and I really enjoy that system. So I'm looking forward to Joan of Arc simply because I enjoy the theme slightly better, and I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. So those are the caveats. It's not because I think one is better than the other. Let's see here. Raiders of the North Sea or Champions of Midgard. I like Champions of Midgard slightly better, but Raiders of the North Sea is a good game. I really enjoy that one too. I have played Gloomhaven once, but not again since then. Saw the Rise of Moloch unboxing today. Have you played it? We did get to play it at CMON Expo last year, and when it came in, Z was Johnny on the spot as far as getting that unboxing done. I would have done it if he hadn't, because we both really enjoyed the game. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting that one to the table again. Let's see here. Going to Origins? Yes, we are. Go Cubs. That's correct. Do the Healey and Vasil children ever play games together? Yeah, every once in a while. I mean, we kind of live in two different worlds, so to speak. My kids are very involved in their school, and the Vasil girls are homeschooled, and they have their own homeschool organization as well that they do a lot of stuff with, and they also do a lot of stuff with their church as well. So it's kind of like we're in two different bubbles, but when the two bubbles, you know, mesh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. They get along well with each other. Let's see. All games are portable. What are you talking about? Portable game that is on the market. I don't know what that means, and I don't mean to be snarky, but you can take any game anywhere, really. Some are more portable than others, but so I don't know. The one that's coming to mind is Age of War, the little Reiner Knizia dice game from Fantasy Flight. That one's cool. That one you can take almost anywhere. There's a game that I just reviewed called Pile Up Rush. Pile Up Rush is a very small kind of mini version of that stacking garbage game. I can't ever remember the name of that game. My mind is something. That one's a smaller game that has a very small footprint. You can probably take that anywhere. That's on the market as well. Let's see. Ooh, wow. This is like a first. I am at the end of the questions, and it is 2 minutes away from being an hour. Ooh. Let's see. What's your favorite thing about living in Florida other than the weather? Well, actually, the weather is not my favorite thing about living in Florida. My favorite thing about living in Florida is that's where my job is, and I have a job. So, if I could have my jobs somewhere else, I probably would, because of the Florida weather. I do not like how hot it is. When you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, or I'm sorry, when you leave the house, really, we wake up usually way before then. When we leave the house at 7:30 in the morning, and it's already 80 degrees outside, no, that's not fun. That's not cool at all. When we were up in Ohio, it was cold. And now by cold, I mean in like the upper 40s, lower 50s, mid 50s. That's what I mean. That was great weather. Loved it. Yeah, I could have done without the rain and the drizzling and all of that kind of stuff, and like the consistent all day 24 hours raining. I could have done without that. But had there been a layer of snow on the ground, man, I'd been in heaven. Because I like snow. I like being in that. My favorite sport's hockey, you know, that kind of stuff. I like cold stuff. It's a lot easier to dress up to the cold than it is to dress down to the heat, because at some point you simply can't take off any more clothes to stay cool. You have to stay decent. So that's my philosophy there. Let's see here. Don't know if you missed my question, but was wondering if you or any of the Dice Tower are going to BGG Spring. Not that I know of. I don't, and I haven't. Let me put it this way. I have not been told that we are, which at this point probably means that we aren't, but I don't know why, because I don't make those decisions. Tom does. When is the next Dice Steeple coming? Oh, Dice Steeple listeners, I apologize deeply for being kind of... I have dropped the ball. I'm not going to put this on Dan, because Dan is doing a Kickstarter right now, and he's been up to his neck in things, and he's actually sent me a couple of ideas for what we can do. I just haven't been able to get another thing scheduled for it. This is my fault and not Dan, so I'll take the hit here, but it is coming soon. That's the best I can say. We've got a couple of irons that are still in the fire that we are not neglecting it. I'm just having trouble getting back to it. That's my fault. So it will be coming soon. It will be coming soon, because I want to get one done. I know Dan does too. I've been trying to let Dan's Kickstarter finish before I come back to him, because Kickstarters are a lot of work, and he's putting it together by himself pretty much. So I just don't want to add too much more to his plate right now. But it will be done. Yea, verily. Let's see here. Favorite book in the Bible is Proverbs or the Book of Revelation. And the reasons behind that is Proverbs is like everyday kind of wisdom and practical things that you can instill day by day. And the Book of Revelation gives us a look forward, and that's it's always fascinated me. So yeah. Oh, Marty. Okay. What would you say is your least favorite game on the BGG Top 100? Wow. Just from the hip, I'd probably say Puerto Rico. I just really don't enjoy that game very much. I didn't enjoy it when it first came out, and I probably won't enjoy it now if I played it again, which I probably won't, because I know I probably won't like it very much. So I just don't enjoy Puerto Rico that much. But that's just from the hip. If I'm looking at the top 100 right now, I probably would. Well, let's look at the top 100, shall we? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do it. Do it right now. Just do it. All right. So we're going to do board games. We're going to browse the games. And then, come on then, you can do it. All right, here we go. All right, so Puerto Rico is what I'm saying right now. And that is currently at number 14. So let me continue going down here. Ooh. Eclipse. But that might be just because it was panhandled to me in as a TI3 Lite, so I had my expectations up. So I'll give Eclipse a pass. Boo 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 boo. Ooh, Kalis. Ugh. That's another front runner. I'm still looking here, sorry. Dominion. I wouldn't say I dislike Dominion, I just think it's overrated. So that'll get a pass as well. I can't believe how many of these games I've actually played. Yep, I think probably Puerto Rico is the correct answer there. Yep, there we go. Yep. All right. What are my house rules for Wasteland Delivery Service? I have posted them to a geek list on the Geek, and I believe it is in the Wasteland Delivery Service corner of the website. So go check that out. I just don't like Kalis. Sorry. Saw a guy on BGG that just used solid wash colors for each of his clan on Blood Raids instead of detailed painting. Have you seen it? Yes, I have. Matter of fact, Brian Drake did that to a buddy's copy of his, and he did a video of it on our channel, I believe, or maybe it's on his channel, The Latest Retro. I can't remember which one it was, but he's actually done it, and I'm all but certain that that's what I'm going to do with my copy, because I like that look, the marbleized look that it produces. I will do that for my clans, and then I'll do the hyper-realism on the monsters. But yeah, that's that. Okay, now we are at the hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and do that rapid fire phase where you give me a this or this, and I have to give you one or the other. So that rapid fire is going to begin right now. We'll do that for, I don't know, until I get tired of it, and then we'll move on and let you guys get back to your day. But I do want to say right now that I do appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to come and chat with me, because you know I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else, and I never want to feel or seem like I'm being aloof or holier than thou or whatever that might be. So I do appreciate you guys coming and spending time with me. So let's go ahead and get those rapid fire questions roaring, and then we'll continue going here. All right, here we go. Race for the Galaxy or Alien Artifacts? Oh, I would have to go with Alien Artifacts. I was never a really big Race for the Galaxy fan. Too much iconography for me. I like Roll for the Galaxy a lot better. But between those two, Alien Artifacts. Friends or That 70s Show? I would have to say Friends, probably. Karuba or Jamaica? Jamaica. GW Minis or CMON Minis? Pros and cons for both of them, but as far as quality and detail is concerned, I'd probably have to go with GW. But I really do like the fact that you don't have to put the CMON minis together. Let's see here. Roll for the Galaxy or Alien Artifacts? That's closer. I'll have to give it more thought. Terra Mystica or Gaia Project? Oh, that's easy. Neither. Zeus or Odin? Don't know why. Port Royal or Celestia? Celestia. Sweet pickles or dill pickles? Sweet pickles on pizza. I like that a lot. But for every other instance, dill pickles. Azul or Sagrada? I like Sagrada better. X-Wing or Armada? I like X-Wing better. UA, Rosenberg or Stefan Feld? I don't know. I haven't played their games enough. I've played a lot of their games, respectively, but I haven't played them multiple times enough, what I'm saying here, to really lean one way or the other. Gloomhaven or Sword and Sorcery? I'm going to say Sword and Sorcery because I've only played Gloomhaven once. Crocs or Flip-Flops? I'm going to go with Flip-Flops. I usually don't wear Crocs or Flip-Flops. I usually like to wear shoes and socks. But if I have to wear one of those two, like if I'm just running out to get something, I usually wear flip-flops. Shadespire or Summoner Wars? Shadespire, hands down. Hot dogs or hamburgers? Burgers. Broadman Hymnal or the Heavenly Highway Hymns? I don't know enough differences between the two. I can't say. Dry brush or ink wash? Usually a little bit of both, actually. That I think produces the best effects. After you wash something in an ink, it really darkens the model up. It's always better to go back after that's dried and give a pretty, at least a focused dry brush in some of those areas. Superman or the Hulk? The Hulk. I like the Hulk better. He's funner to watch on the screen. Wow. In your own words, how much of a better painter is Vernon than you? I wonder who that might be. King of Tokyo or Ultimate Warriors? Oh, wow. Probably King of Tokyo for the ease of it, but I really do enjoy the card play in Ultimate Warriors. Meeples or minis? Minis, if at all. Battle Lore or Commands and Colors? I realize that's the same system, right? I wonder if you're talking about Commands, Colors, Ancients. If in that case, I would go with Battle Lore. Marvel or DC? You don't know me very well, do you? Marvel by a long country mile. Let's see. Seven Wonders or Among the Stars? Seven Wonders. King of Tokyo or Arena for the Gods? I'm going to go with King of Tokyo on that one, but I really, really enjoy the special powers that you get in Arena for the Gods and how you can draft them. Dice game or card game? Yeah, it depends, really, but I'll go with dice game. Truck or SUV? Wow, I'm going to go with the truck. Settlers or Alien Artifacts? Alien Artifacts. Cheers or Frasier? I really enjoyed Frasier, but I enjoyed Cheers back in the day as well, so there you go. Wow. I don't know. Seinfeld or Friends? Friends. I was not a fan of Jerry Seinfeld. Clone Wars Ahsoka or Rebels Ahsoka? I haven't watched Rebels that often, so I'll have to go with Clone Wars Ahsoka. But I heard she's pretty cool in Rebels. Robinson Crusoe or Ghost Stories? I'm going to go with Robinson Crusoe. Washing dishes or doing laundry? Ooh. I do both from time to time, but I would, if I had to choose, I would probably do laundry because washing dishes is a pain and it makes my back hurt. Pizza or tacos? Tacos. Blood Rage or Rising Sun? Duh. Blood Rage. Zombicide, Black Plague or Green Horde? Hey, how about both? Hero Realms, Fighter or Cleric? Oh. I like the Cleric probably better than the Fighter. The Fighter is a beast, though. Christmas or Easter? Both of them. Tom or Z? I never answered that question, Rebecca. I'm sorry. Black or green olives? Black, because green olives just taste weird sometimes. Lords of Waterdeep or Champions of Midgard? Champions of Midgard. Mythic Battles Pantheon or Rum and Bones? Ooh, wow. Good question. I don't know the answer. Rum and Bones for its simplicity. Pantheon for its minis and depth. Yes, sweet pickles on pizza, what the heck. You are correct. I would have said the exact same thing before I moved to Korea, and I did, but in Korea, they do pizza strangely. But, oh my goodness, it's very good. Let's see, Batman or Superman? Okay, if you need to make me choose Superman, because Batman is more of an anti-hero, Superman is a hero, and I like heroes. I don't like anti-heroes so much. Sneakers or tennis shoes? That's the same. Darth or Luke? Luke. Oreos or Chips Ahoy? Chips Ahoy. I don't like that stuff that stays in your teeth when you eat Oreos. Bacon or sausage? Bacon. Mullet or mohawk? If I had to choose a hairstyle between a mullet or a mohawk, I would choose a mohawk any day. What's your favorite legendary? I don't have a favorite Marvel Legendary expansion. Mordor or Isengard? Neither. Gondor. Twilight Struggle or War of the Ring? Twilight Struggle. Flashpoint or Dead Men Tell No Tales? Nah, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Dice-based combat or card-based combat? Again, we already talked about this. and I already gave you an answer for that. I like both of them. Kingdom Death Monster or saving a massive pile of cash? I'm going to go with saving a massive pile of cash. But to be fair, I have not played Kingdom Death Monster, so but I would rather save a large pile of cash. Dice Throne or King of Tokyo? I've not played Dice Throne yet. Ford or Chevy? I don't really care. Race for the Galaxy or Roll for the Galaxy? Roll for the Galaxy is the favorite there. iOS or Android? I have a Samsung phone, so that is Android. Sword and Sorcery or Massive Darkness? Ooh, that really depends on the group that I'm playing with. I like both of them equally, I think. But I think Massive Darkness might be a little bit more palatable for anyone. The Rock or John Cena? I was always a Dwayne Johnson, The Rock fan. John Cena's okay. But I've been a fan of The Rock for longer. Coffee or tea? Coffee. Are you a lefty or a righty? I am using my mouse with my right hand, so that means I'm a righty. Fairy or leprechaun? I don't know. Grinder or a sub? Don't know. Han or Mal? Well, I'm going to go with Han, because if I say Han, I can also say Mal, because Mal was actually based upon Han Solo. So there you have it. Korean movies or Japanese movies? I usually don't like movies that I have to read subtitles for, so neither. The pickles are backed in with the cheese or just spread on top afterwards? They are put on top afterwards in the Korean pizza. It's kind of like pepperonis, but it really depended upon what store you were ordering it from. Sometimes they had it in the cheese and amongst the cheese, and sometimes they were on top, but it just really depended. And sometimes you wouldn't actually have them on top of the pizza. They would just give you like a cup of them on the side, and you would like put one on your slice and then just stick it in your mouth. Really good. You would not know it until you try it. Clank and Space or Bunny Kingdom? I think I like Clank and Space a little bit better than that. If I can only buy one, Black Plague or Green Horde, I would probably go with Black Plague at this point, just because there's a little bit more available, but you know they're probably going to have more available for Green Horde. Molder or Scully? I was always a Molder fan. Let's see. Korean food or American food? If I could live on Korean food, I would, because I did for 7 years, and I loved it. And I actually wasn't as heavy back then either. Live Q&A or napping? A good nap is fun, but I also enjoy live Q&As a lot as well. Let's see here. Sushi go or sushi stay? I'm going to stay with sushi no. Surf or turf? How about surf and turf? Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan? Woo! That's my answer there. Legacy games or traditional? Traditional. You know, I like Pandemic Legacy and Risk Legacy, but all of the other ones have been kind of hit and miss for me. Sharks or bigger sharks? There you go, Pete. Thanks for showing up, buddy. I'm going to say bigger sharks. Savage or Lex Luger? Ooh, Lex Luger was a real bad guy when he first came on the scene. So I don't know. Charles Spurgeon or Jonathan Edwards? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to go with Spurgeon. Marty's DeLorean or Mal's Serenity? Come on. A car or a spaceship? I'll definitely take a spaceship. Let's see. Kingsburg or Dicetown? I'm going to go with Kingsburg. I like Kingsburg better. Korean baseball or American? They're both baseball. But I will say going to a Korean baseball game is much more fun than an American one. Americans just kind of, they're there for the ambiance, I guess, but Koreans are there for the game, and they are like invested. CMON or FFG? I don't know yet. I like both of them equally right now, I think. Kingsburg or Kingsport Festival? Kingsburg. 40K or Age of Sigmar? You know, I've only played the 8th edition of 40K once. I've played Age of Sigmar a little bit more than that, just a couple times. Wow, you know, I don't know. Can't tell you. Sorry. What color if there isn't any green? Blue. Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee was the original, but I do like me some Jackie Chan. Would you rather 40K or TI4 TV show? Ooh. That's a cool question. I would say probably 40K. But it might get too like gory and nasty and bloody and gross. So maybe just TI4. TI4 seems to be probably a little bit more tame. No, I do eat sushi. I eat sushi. I thought you were talking about the game Sushi Go. I love sushi. I love taking my wife to go out and eat sushi. Oh, it's great. And yes, I will eat pickles on pizza. Summer or Winter Olympics? By far, Winter Olympics is my favorite. There's just so many more sports and events that I'm invested in for that. Dice or cards? Again, doesn't matter. Dice, I'll say dice. Fire and Axe or Raiders of the North? I'll say Fire and Axe. Red Wall or Watership Down? I don't know. I've not read either of those. All right, folks, I think that's going to be it. I actually went, wow, 15 minutes for that lightning round. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here because, well, you know, I got to get back to work. And that's just the way it goes. So that is that for me. I thank you so much for joining. We'll probably be doing this here in the near future. We are going to be going to Gamma here in the next couple of weeks, so we're gearing up for that. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do another live Q&A. We got to work ahead, but I'm gonna try. We'll see. Just keep your ears to the ground, and hopefully we'll see you then on the flip side. Take it easy, folks. I'm out.